Yes, people, what is going on? Welcome to McLaren Fan TV after the summer break, people. We are back, we are here, and we're back with a bang. Mr. Lando Norris, P1, your race winner at the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm joined, of course, with my co-host, Mahad from the Pit Stop Fracker. Mahad, talk to me, man. Another race win to start the summer off.
What a beautiful time, guys. Appreciate these moments. This is beautiful.
Take it in. Drink it in, people.
We're not just winning. We're winning dominant win. Dominant win.
I tell you what, how many, you know what? I could take this boring racing all day long. All day long as Mr. Lando Norris is P1 or Oscar Piastri is P1. We have no favorites on this channel. You know what I mean? As long as you drive from McLaren, I don't care what your name is. P1 is what we're after.
P1 with a gap like that.
With a gap like that.
It's like the old days, guys.
It's like 1998. It's good times. I mean, look, Mahad, how are you feeling anyway? Since we've been away for a minute. Had the summer break. Did you miss Formula One? Was you excited ahead of the Zandvoort circuit, or was you a little bit like, you know what, the Dutch Grand Prix hasn't been the greatest to us, but we'll see what it is and we'll take it for what it is?
You know what? At the beginning of the summer break, I was like, I don't need to think about Formula One. I'm all good. Don't need to get involved in any of this. And then when it was like maybe like a week and a half remaining, 2 weeks, I was like, okay, let's get back into this. I looked at Zandvoort. I was like, high deg track, that suits us. Consecutive corners like Hungary, that suits us. We won by 13 seconds that race to anybody else.
Yep.
So I was like, we got a good shot here. And then when I started looking at free practice and looking at the long run data, I was like, yeah, we're gonna kill this off, because Red Bull don't look like they're there. They're not at the races, right? And I thought Mercedes would be there, but they weren't. And then once we got into quali, you know what I mean, I was confident, and the confidence came back. Like, you know, the feeling of Hungary. I feel like Spa was a bit of a downer.
Yeah.
Even though Oscar got his P2 because of George's disqualification and stuff like that, I just feel like we didn't really exploit our pace that weekend. So it was like, okay, was Hungary a one-off? It wasn't a one-off.
No, it was not indeed. It was not. And I see what you're saying. I share that sentiment as well, where it's like we were sort of in that point of the last race before the summer break. Do we want this break? Do we need McLaren to reset? Do we need to sort of go back to the drawing board a little bit? Do we need to take stock? Because I think the thing is, because Mercedes were winning races, it made it look a lot worse than probably what it was. Had it been Max, it would just be like, okay, cool, continue with our progress. We know where we're going. We know where we're heading, and then we'll go from there. But as soon as I saw, I don't know, man, Norris just came in a little bit different this weekend. He just walked in the paddock, and I said, you know what, this guy's got the bit between his teeth, I think. And I kind of was very much like, you know what, let's see how practice goes. As long as what we've asked, as long as what we've wanted to do, the targets we wanted to get hit, I'm not worried about it at all. And I was glad that it wasn't like a sprint weekend, because this could have been one of those weekends where they were for a sprint and we don't really have let's say the enough amount of data that we needed to take in order to go to the race and put the best strategy we can and see where we are, see where the car is. What's happened to Red Bull, just out of curiosity, in your opinion?
I don't know, guys. I swear to you, I don't know, man. Like, people have talked about this asymmetrical braking. You saw all of this stuff over the summer break that people were talking about, that look, they got nicked doing something, and now that's affected their performance since China. I don't think I don't want to start putting suspicions up. I do think, just visually looking at it, that car looks worse than it did in Suzuka. I remember looking at that car in the hairpins of Suzuka. Remember how much we had understeering. Lando was fighting for his life in Suzuka and stuff like that. And how perfect that car looked, on how compliant it was for Max Verstappen. I don't know how you go from that to where they are now. And I don't think an upgrade does that to you.
Yeah, I mean, on upgrades, when we upgrade, guys, we upgrade. Do you know what it was? Even Brundle had to say it on the weekend.
Yeah.
He was like, when McLaren get that upgrade in, just like Miami, you know what I mean? And I think the rumors were, we're going to be like 30% better than what we was at Miami. And it's like you see how we turned up on the weekend and don't get me wrong, it could go hand in hand that Red Bull have had a stinker upgrade wise. Although when I saw Checo, for example, in like the top 5, did he start P5 in the race? I thought, maybe there's something going, maybe there is something to this Red Bull. No, it's not as crazy as Max makes it seem.
I see it like this. Look, that ain't none of my business, innit? They got their thing going on. I'm not one of those fans that are like, I'm gonna just throw accusations out here and there about what's going on. They've got so much stuff going on off and on the track.
Yeah.
They need to go deal with that. At the end of the day, we just need to focus on ourselves and put in that performance. They just can't extract it, and they can't get where they need to get to, especially on tracks like Hungary and the Dutch Grand Prix, which is really surprising. But we looked hooked up, man. That upgrade, the DRS, it's beautiful, man.
It's great.
I remember, what was it, last year or the year before? I can't remember, when we could not get past Yuki Tsunoda with DRS in the Zandvoort. I remember a race like that, and I remember it was in Zandvoort. We just could not overtake Yuki Tsunoda. I think it might have been last year.
I think it was last year.
Yeah. And we were like, this DRS is horrific. And then we're just gliding past Max Verstappen with the DRS. So it looks beautiful. It looks like where the upgrades are working. That's only half the upgrades. I think the rest are coming in Monza. Listen, you don't need to bring upgrades all the time. We just major upgrade in Miami, major upgrade in the Dutch Grand Prix. Just know, if you see that, that FIA sheet where it says upgrades.
Yeah.
If you see McLaren F1 on there, be worried.
Just be worried. Be worried indeed, because we seem to understand what the car needs. You know what I'm saying?
And the whole team, that's the most, I'm telling you now, the whole organization, that is the one that's achieving the most right now. They're doing a madness.
Oh, 1,000%. No,
yeah,
1,000%.
I'm giving them, when we do our end of season rating, the guys that are building this car, they're getting 100 out of 10.
100 out of 10. No doubt. Honestly, we smashing it out of the park. Since last year, by the way. You know what I mean? It's not just a this year thing. Look, before I get into the comment section, because I see tons of you are here.
We've got to say hello to everybody. Everybody, we love you guys. You've been with us from the dark days.
Where is the champers? Where is the non-alcoholic champers? Where is the Schlur? You know what I'm saying? Get your bottles, okay? It's time to start hitting them together, because this is the time to celebrate, people. You know what I'm saying? Where's the rose water or the Ferrari champagne, whatever your preference is? Where is it? Because you need to find it today. But there's nearly 40 of you people right now on this live stream. So big up yourselves. Do me a favor, smash a like on this stream, okay? We need to get McLaren fans involved. And the only way we can is with the exposure. And listen, salute to all of you as well. If you're on Twitter, X, however you want to call it, we've reached 1,500 followers, okay? That's McLaren Fan TV on X, okay? So make sure you do smash a like on that. Make sure you do follow us. Yeah,
we're on Threads as well. Follow us
Threads
on
as well. You know what I'm saying?
We're on there now.
Insta.
If you don't like the toxicity of X, go to Threads. We're on there as well.
Exactly.
Follow us on Instagram as well, and make sure you're subscribed as well. We're at 450. We want to get to 500 subscribers.
Exactly. So smash. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button. But I want to, before I get into the chat, because we definitely will have time for that for sure. I just want to get your thoughts. We'll just run quickly through quali, because it kind of set the pace for the weekend. Obviously, practice did, but Lando Norris on pole, Oscar Piastri, road to P3. What are your thoughts,
guys?
Talk to me.
Guys, did you see that pole position, guys?
Did you see the lap?
Did you see the lap, guys? Lando, man, fantastic.
Mate, but you see Lando though, yeah? He started already, because he started criticizing everything he didn't do right. Did you see when he was watching on board?
Lando, if you ask Lando, he's never done a perfect lap.
Never.
He will criticize something. He said, turn 1 was shit. What do you mean? You did a 16. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Mate, it was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal pole lap. I mean, overall,
I think that's one of his best laps.
Comfortably.
That's one of his best laps. That's unreal lap.
Because the one before was brilliant, by the way. The one before was good. Max then counters it, and then bang! Before he even gets time to breathe into turn one, Lando's gone again.
That's up there. That's up there with Hungary, and Hungary was just one lap. They beat everybody that did two. Listen, he's got. Remember what we said last year? He was having stinkers in Q3, where they had the pace in the car, and he kept on making a mistake here and there, and he's corrected for it.
He has indeed.
In quali this year, he's been amazing. He's been absolutely on rails in quali.
What was he? 3/10? Was it ahead of Max?
3/10 ahead of Max, half a second ahead of Oscar.
That guy had a point to prove, man. He came on smoke, man. He was not happy over the summer. That's a guy that was not happy over the summer because he knew what he left on the table, and he saw he couldn't allow Mercedes picking up these wins. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't allow it. So. This is a guy who came with a point to prove, and my God, did he come with that? Did he prove his point? You know what I'm saying?
He did a fantastic job, and I think both of them were in Q1 and Q2 comfortable. Do you think sometimes I feel like I don't need to watch Q1 and Q2. I already know what's gonna happen. We're gonna be there in Q3, no problem. It's not a problem at all because we've got two drivers that maximize at all times. We're not getting knocked out in Q2. We're not getting knocked out in Q1. Q3, we're there. You know what I mean? Oscar didn't put in the best lap, but he still got P3.
No, do you know what? Though? That's a testament. What you just said there is very, very poignant, yeah? Because I can't remember the last time we didn't make Q3.
We've been in Q3 for ages.
Both
the whole
drivers.
season, we've been in Q3. I don't even know. I'm trying to track back to the end of last year.
Honestly.
I think the last time we got knocked out early doors was Vegas. Vegas, we stunk. We got knocked out Q1, I think.
We stunk out the joint. We stunk out the joint.
That was the last time. That's the last time we had a bad quality.
But that is crazy. Like when you deep it, that's actually mental.
I think we're gonna have good qualities all the way to Vegas this time.
Shout out to Adam. He says, yeah, Vegas. Shout out to Henry as well. He says Vegas 2023.
That's an unbelievable streak.
That is unreal. That is unreal, people. But yes, sorry, you're talking about Oscar.
Oscar, yeah, he was doing so well in qualifying, even in the first run in Q3, but then it just kind of fell away from the last run. I don't know where that gap was. We really needed him to finish in front of Max. We needed him on the front row, 100%, because I feel like if he qualified on the front row, he finishes second regardless. Minimum, at the minimum, he's gonna finish ahead of Max.
It's crazy, man.
And then we take more points away from Max, and then maybe that's a bit 3 points dropped. In that sense, more constructors points that was on the table that was lost because you got a P4 instead. And yeah, like that was the only negative for quali. But imagine this, we've got to the point, guys, where a negative in quali is being on the second row. Is 1 and 3. Bro, like, instead of 1 and 2.
Even listening
look at the levels we've got to. This is like we're at Mercedes dominance levels. Where that's a disappointment.
The way you're talking, I was just sitting there like as you're talking, I'm there like raw. Like the criticism is a P3 right now. You know what I'm saying? The criticism is that our second driver should be ahead of Max on the start of the grid. Like
for Oscar himself, but if you think about this, for Oscar himself, he wouldn't be happy having what half a second on his head. He's not going to be happy about that at all.
He said it. He said literally, look, he said credit to Lando because he did a blistering lap, number 1. But number 2, I did not maximize everything in that final lap. He said quali was good up until that final lap. You know, whatever it was a mistake here or there, whatever the case may be, he knew full well that there's a 1-2 on the cards in quali. Yeah. So, you know, there is definitely that. But, you know, guys, question, Mahad, have we got the best car on the grid? Out of curiosity. Is it too early to start asking them kind of questions or what? Because I've been hearing noise that we've got the best car on the grid. I heard some criticism that why didn't Oscar get P2? You know, both in quali and in the race. We'll get to the race a little bit later. But, you know, I'm hearing all this talk and I'm asking myself, hang on a minute, are we sure that this is the best car on the grid today?
This is the question, yeah? If you ask me that in Spa, I swear to you guys, 100%, if Max Verstappen started on pole and didn't take an engine penalty, he would have killed everybody. He would have
killed everyone, yeah.
He would have dusted the grid. He would have been down the road, right? Now that we've put an upgrade in this car in the Dutch Grand Prix and we're how far up the road, I need to see how this car performs in relation to the Red Bull in Monza.
Monza's a big one.
Monza's completely different, guys. We're not good at Monza. I'm not saying anything until Monza. I need to see Monza because in Monza, it is credible that we are third fastest. It is 100%. It could be a rally. I don't want you guys to be shocked. That could be a reality that we go to Monza and not be good there because we've not been good there since the beginning of these regulations. We had an upgraded car last year. We were not good there. We didn't even have the right wing. We didn't even have a low down. We literally, pardon the pun, winged it in the race last year. So we need to see what's going on there because if we did a direct comparison to Max Verstappen and the Red Bulls, if he started on pole and had clean air in Spa, he would have won that race, and we wouldn't have caught him.
1,000%.
So the conversation about the fastest car here and there, whatever, on a track like Hungary, on a track like Zandvoort, no, we are the fastest car, 1,000,000%. But we're in that era where it's all like, it depends on this condition, this type of track. So if we bring the upgrades we need to bring in Monza and we cook on that track, on this if Lando or Oscar win, whatever, 100% we got the fastest car.
Interesting.
But we said this, didn't we say this, Peter? Peter, we said this a couple months ago, a couple races ago. We said we've got a car with a Miami upgrade, and we're going toe to toe with everybody else. Everybody else has brought upgrades after that. They've put lots of parts on stuff like that. We didn't do anything. I said if we put an upgrade on that car, be careful. We might run the slate.
The thing is, yes, we did definitely say that. Against the rest, absolutely. My only query is Red Bull still, because at the end of the day, like Max is still the championship leader, and it's not okay. What's the gap now? Is it what 70? Is it 60 points
between 70 points between Max and Norris?
So 70 points, right? Which doesn't sound that crazy, but I'm sorry, if you're getting 25 and 18 between you two, it's a long way to overtake Max Verstappen, right?
Yeah.
And that's on merit. Like that's on merit with Red Bull. So in my mind, I'm always very reluctant to say, no, guys, pump the brakes. We are not the best car on the grid. What we are great at progression, and we've also got a cracking number 2 driver. So we look a lot better than maybe what it might seem. Because let's just say there was a George Russell or maybe a Lewis Hamilton in the other Red Bull. The conversation could be very, very different. Points wise.
One thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about is I feel like Red Bull have a real trouble like balancing their car and finding the right setup through practice.
Yeah.
From practice 1, the car is set up for.
We were ready to go.
It's one of the easiest cars to set up for a track. That's why we're good everywhere. But with Red Bull, they are fighting for their lives. They need like 6 practice sessions to bloody balance their car and find the right sweet spot. Because if you guys remember Austria, they weren't that good in the sprint race or sprint quali. They were all right. You know what I mean? But the fact that they had sprint race and sprint quali and one practice session to kind of, they had a whole sprint race to kind of finesse that car and find the right balance. Look what he did in the real qualifying. He put a massive gap on everybody, and he was down the road before the crash and all that stuff and the bad pit stop. He was down the road. So when that car is really optimized, it is a very, very fast car. But they can't never put it in the sweet spot. The sweet spot is so narrow that they need so much time to do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple sprint races they do a good job, because they get to do the sprint race and then prepare for qualifying and the actual race and have all that data. But at this point in time, I will have to wait until Monza. I think there's 2 different questions here: the best car and the fastest car.
Yeah, my question was the best.
The best car, we've got the best car, because the best car is the one that you can actually set up for every track and do what you need to do and perform, right?
Yeah.
Red Bull cannot do that. Clearly, Mercedes, I don't know what was going on with their car in Zandvoort, but they were slower than Ferrari. So we don't have those weekends where we're just randomly slower than a Ferrari or we're at the 4th fastest car. We don't have that anymore. We're just good everywhere, which is a testament to the team that they've built such a balanced car. And you could see that in qualifying. That, look, we put 3 tenths on Max Verstappen on a 69-second track. Are you all right?
It's
the second shortest track on the calendar.
And he's Lord and Master of that track, by the way. This felt like a brand new circuit, Vegas or something like that, where there's no real data. Max Verstappen has turned up to Zandvoort and left everyone in the circuit for dead. Do you know what I mean? So salute to the guys that have been.
What did you think when you saw the quali lap? You was like, what?
Joe, because I'm a fan, innit? Yeah, I didn't even get to the analysis side, bro. I just cheered the hell out of it. I was like, freaking get in! I'm on my way to Villa. I was at the Aston Villa game, and literally, I was just like, oh my god, like like what I thought I knew about McLaren, they go and turn it up just a notch. Just when I thought they go and give me more, you know what I mean? And the fact I saw Oscar and I was like, Oscar's so close because, like, you know, he had a good first sector in that last lap. The second sector was awful, so that kind of cost him the rest of the lap. But it made me think, Jesus, if he actually put that lap together, am I looking at 1-2 here?
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
And the thing is, the only thing that made me kind of pause for concern, concern's the wrong word, but maybe just sort of humble myself, was seeing Checo in quali, because I'm expecting Checo out in Q2. That's what I was expecting. So when I see it was Hamilton, I was like, hang on a minute, where's Checo? Then I see Checo get a P5, which is, for him, this season is respectable. So, you know, I was just delighted. I was like, oh my God, P1. But what's this? Is this his fourth pole now? So
that's his fourth pole position, like Grand Prix. Obviously, he's got poles in sprint races and that.
Yes, yeah, okay, yeah. So, you know, in my mind, I was a bit like, the job ain't done yet. I was celebrating, the job ain't done yet. Let's get to the race.
He was like, I don't want 0 for 4.
I didn't want 0 for 4. And as we get to that race, what is the first thing that hits, that triggers me in the start of this race?
Before we get to the race, let's see these guys' comments. Everybody,
we should get the comments very quickly.
Let's go through the comments with everybody, because we'll talk about that start.
Oh God! All right, let's go through some of these comments. You guys have been patiently waiting. In fact, we're nearly half an hour in. I can't even believe it. Shout out to Elliot. Says great title, biggest winning margin for McLaren since Lewis led a 1-2 at Turkey in 2010 with a 24-second gap to Webber. Though that wasn't on pace. Yeah, I remember
that race gave me a headache, man. 2010 Turkey. Oh my! When Button and Hamilton were racing.
Hamilton, yeah. Elliot goes on to say the last time a McLaren won with a bigger margin was the one on pure dry weather. Race pace was Fernando leading 1-2 in Monza, 2007. Why did you have to bring up 2007?
Is that an Omar? Is that an omen? Look, we did a 1-2 in Monza in 2007, guys.
Let me tell you something right now, Mahad. Yeah, we'll get to Monza prediction. I can't do it. I can't do it. Happy for you guys, but I hope Ferrari get their S together sorted before Lewis arrives. It is 1:21 a.m. in New Zealand.
I know that's why you're not watching. You haven't been watching recently, but Elliot, don't bring that up, because my goat is going to be suffering next year, man. It's peak, man. I feel so bad for him, man.
Salute to Elliot, though, man. 1:20, that's a good shift. It must be like almost like nearly, 10-2 now or something like that. Fair enough, man. Fair play to you, mate. Thank you for joining us, man. You're an absolute legend. Shout out to the Kiwis. Henry says, I actually quite enjoyed that race. Would give it a 6 out of 10. Having the data and stuff did allow it to be interesting, since it was more about comparing lap times and stuff to see if cars could close. Yeah. First time watching McLaren Fan TV stream for a while since I was on holiday. Where did you go? Talk to us. Where have you been, Henry?
Welcome back, man.
Welcome back to the channel, man. Yes, absolutely. Drea, the legend, says, hey, lads, great to see you all. What a way to start after the break. What a weekend. Not quite perfect, but a delight anyway. Absolutely. It was a frigging delight, man. I can't wait to jump into it. Evening, lads, says Adam, says great weekend, statement weekend for Lando and poor for Oscar. I feel, but if poor weekend is P4, I'll take that. Closing the gap in the constructors as well. He still got 12 points, didn't he? On the weekend. John McLaren says, what a statement. That was a supersonic victory. I see what you did there. You see Oasis has come back in town. Are you seeing, dude? The internet is going to die on Saturday. I think they got their tickets. For anyone that didn't know, Oasis are reuniting, doing a couple nights at Wembley. I think they're doing a world tour. Is it a UK tour? I can't remember. Maybe European. But
people are going to fight for them tickets, man.
People are going to fight. Let me tell you, Saturday they're going to fight, bro. They're going to fight. I think they're doing 5 nights at Wembley, or 3 nights at Wembley, which is insanity. They can make $500 million off that tour, to be honest.
Probably.
Adam says, but we do have to talk about that start again. Both Lando and Oscar got a poor start, so it was something with the car. Is it something with the car, or are the drivers doing something wrong?
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll go through a couple more, but we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
The Oracle is back in town, lads. I don't know
Oracle!
how this Oracle stuff keeps panning out yet. Here we are once again. Huh?
I said I weren't gonna tweet until McLaren win a race. Yeah, so I didn't tweet, and then Oracle, shout outs to you. I think Adam, shout outs to you. You lot said, I'll see you in Zandvoort. These guys predicted it, man.
He did.
The win in Zandvoort, man.
Listen, not only did we win, people. Let's talk about Z. That last lap, Lando, yet again.
Do you know what I got flashbacks of?
Go on.
Sebastian Vettel.
Oh,
He used to do that shit.
Oh, I think you're gonna talk about that sort of that 2020 Lando, that pandemic Lando when he would just dunk it.
I know last lap. Everybody knows about last lap Lando, but I had flashbacks of just on old tires, just slapping fastest lap on the last lap.
This is it.
That's Vettel stuff.
Amon, what's going on? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Says, what's up, guys? McLaren, the MCL 38 became the MP44 reborn. I freaking love that. Big up to yourself all the way out there in Brazil. Drea says the best boring race ever. Not that I ever can really be bored during a race. There is a live timing to follow. Yeah,
I was just watching that gap build up. I was like, I was just waiting. I was hoping these back markers didn't F us up, but I said, yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, you're quieter on the audio. You don't sound.
No, I corrected it. I corrected it, guys. Don't worry.
Okay.
I saw that comment. That's the only comment I saw. Thank you.
N55 Jordan. Have we had this person on before? Have we had them on the channel? Excuse me, lads. Does anyone know when Max Verstappen is turning up?
Listen. I'm not on this. Max has been dunking on us all year, man. But
listen, he's still the number one, isn't he?
We got a little jab in this. We got a little jab in this week.
He's still there. Shout out to Masab, says, hi guys, after a long time, but glad to be back. Red Bull are using the old spec in this race. Yeah, I mean,
that's bad.
That's bad news. You know, that's bad news.
Scary hours for them.
Steph says, hello guys, I've been waiting for this whole summer break. What a race, huh? Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what, guys? After all the stuff that was going on, especially the media saying, look, McLaren ain't really got it. Have they got the minerals for this? Oh, has Lando got the minerals for it? Isn't that one of the perfect races to respond?
Absolutely. Where? In Max's home ground?
Especially for Lando. This is insane.
Bro, let's not forget, Lando's part Belgian? Do you know what I'm saying? You know the Belgian-Dutch connection there? You see or even the rivalry, whatever you want to call it? Listen.
You know, Dutch people love Lando as well. That's the funniest thing. There were a lot of them were clapping for him when he passed the line.
To be fair, they did give him a standing ovation, didn't they?
Respect for those lot.
They did. Steph Lowe, what's good, folks? What a way to start the second half of the season. Sheesh. Absolutely. Z said, listen, Z is absolutely right. I'm seeing head loss online. Yeah?
Hey, listen, it's entertainment, guys. It's entertainment.
Run that.
It's entertainment, man. Do you know what it reminds me of?
Mm.
I don't know if you guys were on Twitter in like 2020, whatever, yeah, or 2019. This is how they used to act towards Max.
I remember.
People used to hate Max.
I remember.
Used to see crazy tweets about Max Verstappen before he won his first title. Used to see nut stuff. We're seeing the same thing. It's just, listen, yeah, and it's funny because I think people don't understand F1 media. You know, F1 media, they love the guy that's the incumbent and not the winner. If you're a winner, they don't rate it. They're not gonna give you if you win too much. You've seen it before, man. You've seen it with Schumacher. We've seen it with Hamilton. We've seen it with Vettel. You remember Vettel to see the coverage that he's on? They were like, yo, it's just a car. Da, da, da. They were talking about other drivers. They were talking about Hamilton. They were talking about Alonso, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're the guy that's the winning guy or the reigning champion, they're going to talk about the other guy. And then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, but you're being biased. Da, da, da. This is what's happening now, man.
This is it,
There's going to be a lot of head loss.
I'm glad
when the media are like all clamoring for Norris now because he did that, or for Oscar or whatever, and they're not talking about Max. That's just how it goes, man.
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Shout out to Sahil as well, yeah? First time I think I've seen you on the chat. All the Lando haters need to sit down. Tell them, Sahil. Tell them.
If you're a Lando hater, you're gonna have a hard life.
Absolutely. Bonzo Can says, let's go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, for real. For real. Shout out to Hussein as well, giving us that hot knowledge that dropped earlier today. I can't lie. I saw this, yeah, and I was like, yo, Logan Sargent dropped for the rest of the season. Rest in peace, Crash King. I mean,
P45 settings, man.
I can't lie. The thing is, it was only when Brundle spoke about it on the weekend where he was like, and Sargent,
You can't drop it. You can't drop it.
He's costing money. He's costing the team a fortune. And I sat there like, yo, this guy's trying to get this man gone. And the thing is, they pulled the trigger, and it's not even like, oh yeah, science come true now. They were like, they're bringing in, what's the Argentine called? Oh, I forgot his name. Colapinto. That's it. You know what I'm saying? They brought him in. Do you know anything about this guy?
He's an F2 driver. It seems all right. I would never put him as a candidate for an F1 seat, but clearly they've already signed Carlos Sainz, so they just need a little bit of a stopgap.
Yeah,
might as well put him in there.
Absolutely.
I don't think he's going to be like extraordinary or anything like that, and he hasn't got any seats lined up for next year. He's literally a stopgap, and he probably doesn't get paid a lot, and they're going to save some money.
Fair. No, fair. As long as he doesn't drop it in practice at Monza, he'll be all right. Shout out to Zop Bay. What's going on? Hope you're good.
Zop. Hello.
Welcome and joining us. But yeah, I think that's more or less the people that I think I've said hello to everybody.
Shout out to everybody.
Zach as well is joining the building as well. If we can be fast on low downforce track too, then I'll say we're the fastest. But with the unimproven at Monza, Baku, and Vegas, I know
they're the races I'm scared about. If we're not good in Monza, we're not going to be good. We're not going to be good in Baku. We're not going to be good in Vegas.
Yeah, no.
So we need to kind of sort that out in terms of the dragon straight line speed. But the other races, Qatar come true, man. Oh my God.
Bring that, man. Bring that.
Qatar. Mexico, we might see another 22 seconds.
Hey, listen, and Kama says we outside. Ain't been here in months.
I've not seen you in ages.
It's been a hot minute.
Where you been at, man?
Cheers, I love this.
McLaren's winning and he disappeared.
I said McCooking. You know what it was there? I love that. I friggin' love that. But yeah, let's get into this. Shout out to Melanie as well. Melanie O.
Welcome.
Before we cook Lando for the start, it's not how you start. It's how you finish.
All right, let's talk about the start. You tell me what you thought. Give me you watching that.
Okay.
Put the race on. You're ready. Lights out. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Lord Jesus. Because you know what's funny, yeah? I don't think he even passed the start finish line and Max was in front. I swear the whole car hadn't even crossed the start finish line. And Max is in front. And then I'm like, oh my God. Then I look behind him and I said, what the hell's going on with Oscar? Wait,
it was like a double whammy.
Can we start the race again? Start it again. I was like, no, I wasn't ready. I stood there, bro. I stood there in disbelief. Because I said, not again have we got a bad, second phase or bad start to the race. But then I'm seeing it happen to my man, to Oscar Piastri, and I'm sitting there thinking, hang on just a damn minute. What's going on with this McLaren? Ladies and gents, talk to me. What is it about this car that when they're talking about when they drop the clutch and they hit the throttle, it just doesn't seem, they don't seem to collaborate together. What is that? What is going on? That's all I could do was just, what is going on with this start? Oh. And the fact that it was different, you know what I'm saying? Like even Lando said post-race, like it's a completely different issue to what I'm used to as well. So it's not like the same things happening again in terms of why we're slow at the start. It's different each time. And then even Oscar's got the same problems. Now, was it grip on the track? Is it the way our clutch is? Is it car? Is it track? Is it driver? Or is it a mix of all three?
So they both got wheel spin, which I've never seen. I was like, what? Wheel spin? On every single start that Lando's had that was slow, yeah, it was like he's got off the line quick, and then in the second phase, it's just there's a lag, and then it doesn't move forward. This time it was wheel spin. I was like, huh?
Honestly.
And then Oscar had the exact same thing, and then Perez behind him in P5 had the same thing, and then whoever was in P7 had the same thing. So everybody on that side of the grid, on the first front, on the four, they all lost a position. They all lost one position. So clearly something was going on that side of the track. And if that was the case, then the team didn't do their preparations. They didn't see the grip levels.
Yeah.
On that side and sort it out. Like you need to sort out the grid spot. What's going on here?
It was interesting because Gasly, was who got done? Was it Hamilton or was it Albon? I think it was Albon got done. And Gasly was like, I realized I got to move to the better side of the track. And straight away he knew like that was like a golden thing. And I heard that post race, and I didn't even clock that, P1, P3, P5, all that side of the track. I didn't even really.
Perez lost the spot.
Yeah. I didn't even notice everybody else because I was fuming about my guys. You know what I was? I wasn't even looking.
It was like slow motion. Do you know what's so funny? Because I watched it, and on my life they left the line at the same time.
Yeah,
they both went bang. Like exactly, both of their reactions was exactly the same. And then I saw Max just gap him like bat. And then I'm thinking, at least Oscar could like maybe go around the outside of Lando if Lando was slow. Oscar was slow as well. I was like, and then I'm seeing George on the inside. I'm like, what's going on? This is clearly. It could be a combination of things. It could be the dirty side of the track. I will see in Monza, because clearly it won't be the same thing in terms of track grip, whatever. We've got to see if this is something to do with the gearbox.
Yeah,
see what's going on, because at the end of the day, like when you go at the top of the grid, these are the margins, right?
Facts.
I remember the starts were dictating who's going to win between Max and Lewis in 2021.
Yeah.
Who had the better launch and who's got the better gearbox, whatever. Like, these are the things that matter when you get to the front, because these are the margins you're dealing with, right? So obviously McLaren made their own gearbox. They need to work that out. And to be fair, Oscar, we spoke about it previously. Oscar was okay previously with his starts as well, but clearly, maybe it's just an anomaly. I don't want these guys to start overthinking it in their head and stuff like that. Just race. Just see what happens.
Continue as you normally do.
Continue as you guys are. It's not a problem. If we get to Monza and we get to the next couple of races and we clearly see it's the gearbox stuff, then clearly you got to do something with the gearbox and sort it out.
Yeah, I mean, let me just shout out to Dion here, who says, Creative Expressions by Dion says, good afternoon from Alabama in the US. Shout out to you. First time viewer of the channel, massive F1 McLaren fan, 60-year-old as well. Listen, we welcome all ages.
Welcome.
We welcome all ages. There's no discrimination over here. Okay. Shout out to you though, man. I hope you're good. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Let us know how you found us as well, by the way, because I'll be intrigued to know where the reach is coming from. But yeah, as you were saying there earlier, Mahad, I with all of that in mind, I got to admit I was actually quite surprised Lando got back into this, because once that happened, I thought, okay, cool. Like, I accepted defeat once Max got there. I thought he would get the clean air. We've seen Max, take the lead and go. And especially with what we saw in Spa, I know his quali wasn't the greatest, but after Spa, you thought, okay, he's not left. You know what I mean? He's not gone anywhere. But I was gobsmacked to see, just how calm everybody was McLaren-wise, by the team and everything else. And it was a case of, because in my mind, I was thinking, oh God, what's plan B now? What is plan B? What did they discuss? Did they discuss this before the race? What if I lose in turn one? What's the plan? And it seemed like nobody like kind of jumped or got their knickers in a twist. It was very much like, okay, normal service resumed. We know what car we've got. We know what car they've got.
Yeah.
Keep at it. That shocked me how quick we got back into it.
So for me, I wasn't too worried. I said once Lando kept the second position and didn't lose any more, and he was directly behind Max, and I knew what he was doing. He was just he was just chilling in 1.8 seconds behind. He was just letting the tires what he does, man.
I saw the 1.5, yeah. He's at a DRS. I said, what's going on here?
No, he's chilling out. I don't worry about Lando in those scenarios. He's just chilling out, man. He's relaxed, man. One of the key signs was the interview after qualifying, when Max was like 3/10, so there's not much I can do about that in tomorrow's race. He knew the pace gap. He knew the pace gap, because if Max out-qualified Lando by 3/10, he knows his advantage in the race. Right? So when he's realizing, do you know what that interview was after qualifying? It was like when Max was racing against Hamilton in like 2020, when he knew like the car is, he's gonna overtake me. Even if I out-qualify him, these W11s are going to do something. They're going to get me, right? And I feel like he was resigned to that. And the second, like, Lando was just relaxing, there was no urgency in let me overtake this guy. He was just like, let me bring the tires in well. Let me look
Yeah.
after it. Let me stay out of Max's dirty air. Let me relax. And then I'm just hearing Max saying, yeah, I'm sliding. Car's not turning in. I knew from then. I said, this guy, hopefully the DRS works. This guy's going to get cooked.
He's going to
when
get
it's
cooked.
the time's right? And to be fair, I was thinking about that as well with Oscar. Obviously, he lost the position to George. And I thought maybe Oscar was just chilling back, staying out of the dirty air. Obviously, he had Leclerc in his gearbox. But I thought, yeah, he's just chilling back because he needs to make the move on George. It's critical. That in the first stint, it was so critical to clear George.
Critical, yeah.
And we spoke about stuff like this. Like, you got to clear him in the first race, in the first stint. Like with Lando when he was behind George, remember in Spain? That ruined his race.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if he caught Max at the end of the race in Spain. He wasted his whole first stint behind George. And he shouldn't have done that. And maybe Oscar would be thinking about it after when they're reviewing it with Tom Stallard. Is going to be thinking, maybe, look, this is what we needed to do. We needed to get George early doors because clearly he's in a slower car, and then progress from there. And then from then, he was just in dirty air and his race was over. But for Lando, once that DRS overtake, I just knew, look how easy that was. Look how easy that overtake was, man.
It was.
And we spoke about this, guys. We spoke about this a million times. If Lando has clean air, what happens?
Gone clear. Gone.
What happens? We saw it in Canada.
What did Oscar say?
Fired man Logan Sargent ruined everything. Yeah.
What did Oscar say how long ago? You know,
clean air is king. Yeah.
There you go.
Lando in clean air, we spoke about it. Like just the McLaren in general, even pre-upgrade McLaren, 2022 McLaren. If you're in clean air and Lando's in clean air, in particular, he's gone. He's rapid, right?
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that Lando's in this car right now. Yeah. If he's in a car that's first place, this is why the starts are so important. If he's in the car that's in first place on lap 1, this guy is sailing off into the distance. You're not staying on his gearbox. The guy's quick. He's going to run into the distance. And that's exactly what he did. He's been threatening to do this for how long, man?
Honestly.
Look what he did in the Miami sprint race.
Yeah.
And people were saying, oh yeah, Max had damage. Max said himself, I couldn't do nothing.
That's the thing. You got to listen to what these drivers are telling.
Why do you think Max did what he did in Austria? People are saying, oh yeah, he wouldn't have made up the 5 seconds. This is Lando. He's going clean air, Lando. He's going to make up that 5 seconds. That's what you have to do. What you have to do in terms of stopping this guy from overtaking.
Yeah.
He's going to make the gap. So he's an extremely quick driver. Especially this is McLaren as a organization need to understand. Look, we need to get this guy in clean air and need to get him in the front.
Yeah,
because this guy is a front runner. In terms of if he's in the lead, he will keep the lead.
Facts. No, facts. We know this.
If
I think Oscar's the same.
Capable, he will keep the lead.
I think Oscar's the same.
Oscar the same in the clean air. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what, Oscar had the opportunity to win in Spa. If they just kept him out.
Okay.
He's in clean air. He could have done the thing. So I wasn't worried. Once Lando overtook Max, the race was done.
Imagine. Shout out to Ella, who says, look, that overtake is so smooth. If people say Lando can't overtake, better show that overtake to them. Absolutely. Big up yourself, Ella. Thank you for joining us. You just mentioned something about Oscar there. Did the team make a mistake with him? Because, look, he didn't get past George, okay? And is the track hard to overtake? I don't know, because we've seen some good overtaking, but we've also seen people get stuck. He definitely got stuck behind Charles Leclerc. Now, was Oscar's situation by the team or by him? And also, second part of that question, or third part even, had Lando been in Oscar's position, do we think Lando would have got through that pack? Because I was scratching my head with Oscar, because I know with Oscar, I know Oscar was unfortunate to be caught in that dirty air with Charles. Yeah, the George Russell thing flopped him, but the race wasn't over, right? And I wondered, could we have gone for the undercut, or is it hindsight is 2020? Because
no,
maybe.
So are you saying that in the first stint, if Lando was where Oscar was, I think Lando would have attacked George immediately.
But even in the last stint, even in the last one, if he's behind Leclerc, does he get through him?
Does he get through him? I think Lando wouldn't use up his tires as much. I think Oscar used up his tires on the final stint at the beginning quite a lot, trying to get past, when he got past George and then he was trying to gain time. I think
that's the other part.
I think Lando would have brought in his tires more gentle. He wouldn't have been like rushing, rushing just to get to Leclerc. He would have just been, let me bring this in gently. Let me get to the thing, and that comes with experience. You know what I mean? Lando's got experience going through the field. You know what I mean? We saw. Look what he did in Mexico when he got knocked out in Q1 and just went cut through the field.
Yeah, is that why? Is that why Oscar is that why they probably didn't go for the undercut with Oscar? Because we're talking early doors here with George Russell. How would those hard tires have been, considering what Mercedes did with those hard tires?
You gotta use the strength. You gotta use the strength of the car, right? So the strength of the car is that it's good on its tires. You gotta go long. The undercut, forget about it. Why are you gonna do undercut? Use the strength of the car. Look, you stay out there. You see what you can do. Also, if you stay out there with the strength of that car, what if a safety car happens? Then you get a free pit stop. You gotta use those scenarios where me personally, I ain't got a problem with the strategy team doing that. Like, they're using the strength of it. We've done that all season where you stay out there. That's the whole reason we won Miami. Because you stayed out there, used the strength of the car, being nice on its tires. Stay out there, safety car might happen, there you go.
Why was it different in what was the race we were criticizing them for keeping them out long? Was it Silverstone?
Silverstone's is a completely different scenario, because you could have picked Lando the lap before. If you were scared of double stacking, you could have picked the Lando the lap before when he asked, "Can I pit?"
Yeah.
You made a scenario of a double stack for no reason. When you could have just pit him the lap when Max pitted. Because he asked, he's like, "I'm ready." So that's a completely different scenario. I think this one if they've believed that Oscar's pace was not enough to overtake Russell, right?
Yeah.
They're like, okay, let's stay out there then. Just use the strength of this car so we can get a tire offset so we can clear past him. And guess what? It worked for George. They overtook him quickly.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just about that use of the tires. And another thing that they did, they underestimated how fast Ferrari was. Leclerc was phenomenal.
Where did that come
Ferrari
from?
Was fast.
Where did that come from?
I don't understand why the Ferrari was fast.
Because not even they know why it was fast.
But when you do your prep and you're looking at the race, this is what I'm saying now about being more mindful about actually what's going on in the race. Maybe they should have realized in the first stint that Leclerc's quicker than we thought he was.
And so try to cover him off.
Yeah, like this your race is with him, not with Russell. If they were looking at Russell's lap times and thinking, let's stay out there because we're gonna clear him, I think they weren't paying attention to him.
I think they could be forgiven for that though, because Ferrari would not. They didn't have a spliff in hell's chance to do anything.
Ferrari did a good job with the strategy as well. They were the one that pitted.
Yeah, they were the ones that done it first.
They took the advantage. They undercut us.
Yeah,
and we thought that was too early. Kudos to them. That got them a podium.
But I wonder if Oscar pitted before Leclerc, for example, whether those tires would have been cooked by the time it came to the crunch. You know, with Oscar's level of tire drag at the minute. You know,
people were quick to say Oscar's overcome these tire issues, maybe on other tracks, but not on high leg track. This is a high leg track, man.
It is.
Remember, I told you guys like what pump the brakes. This is a high leg track we got here, and then on the final stint, he did what he did, but George Russell cooked his tires as well. So
because who jumped on the hards? Somebody jumped on the hards in the midfield quite early doors, and it was like on commentary they were like, teams will be keeping an eye on that, but then it didn't seem to come to fruition. Was it Albon? So did he jump on the hards? Is that what it was? Because he jumped on a set of tires whereby Mercedes then followed suit, but Mercedes cooked their tires. Right now, that obviously it's down to their car, down to their setup, everything else. That's what I love about Formula One. Like, it's not one rule for all. So, like, even when you see something going along one way, because even like when they asked Sainz at the end, like, does your car work better with fuel? And he goes, well, no, not necessarily, because when we had low fuel at the end of the race, we still were fast. I don't know why we were fast. It was essentially his answer. And he was like, look, the wind was this, the wind was that. The wind threw many people off in qualifying, so people didn't even know what to do with the Dutch weather. That's what I like. I like that there's so many like different algorithms that can partake in a race weekend. let me get through some of these comments here. Drea says, look, Max had big problems with his starts in the past. I think it's not only a driver thing, it could be a combination of the car setup. I totally agree with that. Musab says, I was in awe and disbelief when Lando erased Max's lead. I can't lie, I was the same. I was the exact same. Z says, I wasn't worried. After watching quali, I just knew that Lando had the pace to pass him. Fair play. Yeah. Melanie says, I think if it's a Lando problem, then he will fix it eventually, just like qualifying. So I'm not worried. I'm not one to lose hope. Shout out to you, Melanie. Sorry. Yeah. Shout out to you. Definitely. If it's just Lando, then yeah, absolutely. You can hang your hat on him sorting that problem out. I actually was looking at what streams were online live. Saw this McLaren fan stream, and I had to pop in and check it out. Young men, I grew up from a very early age. A race fan, no matter what type. Yeah, we
thank you for locking in, man.
Thank you very much indeed, for sure, Dion. I mean, we've been watching since 97? Do we go back that far? Is it 97?
Yeah,
that was our first.
Yeah, late 90s for me.
Yeah, because I do remember, like, I vaguely remember Damon Hill winning the title, vaguely.
Yeah.
But then I remember Jacques Villeneuve like doing his thing on Schumacher, and I was like, "Yep, here we go."
I was very, very, very young, and my first ever race was Jerez 97.
There you go, man.
I was very, very, very young.
Well, when we were racing in Jerez, that's when you know. That's when you know.
And I saw terrorism of Michael Schumacher.
Oh,
and then I saw Mika Hakkinen win, so here we go.
There you go. Andrea says, I think Lando played it perfectly, kept a little distance, nursed the tires, and then waited until he saw Max sliding more. Then he attacked. There was probably some. I don't know, Mahad. You're normally quite on top of the sort of the team radio during a race. I wonder if Lando, an engineer, was sort of looking and paying attention to what was going on with Max, because Max was moaning throughout the entire race. Clearly. They probably took stock with that.
Like, I think there was a radio that I understood what he was saying, but I feel like when Lando responds, it looks like they don't understand what they're saying. And I'm like, they need to clear up whatever communication is. I know what when he says, "Who are we racing?"
Yeah.
That is just a creative way of saying, "What's your pace?" Right? He's just asking you, do you have the pace to go race Max? Yeah. So when he asked the question, "Who are we racing?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when Lando responds, he's like confused about it, right?
Yeah.
Which makes everybody angry. Like, why is this guy asked the question? But clearly that's code for what's your pace, right? And maybe it was more simplified if he just said what's your pace instead of who you're racing, because it makes the image that the team does not know who we're racing, right? But I think they knew. Look what Joseph said on the radio is that we got him covered. It's all right. Even if we tried to do undercut, overcut, we're all right. We got pace. We're good. They knew what was going. They knew from the first thing that he's not your race anymore.
Yeah,
it's over because this guy he's sliding all over the gaff. His lap times are slow compared to you. You're good to go, man. And like I said, Max Verstappen is one of those guys. He accepts it. If the other guy's in a rocket ship, he's just gonna accept. Okay, let me just try to get the best result. He knew already.
He knew what time it was. So yeah, I guess. So do they need to clear it up for us, or they just need to make sure that they're on the same?
I just think they. I would prefer they speak like Ferrari on the radio in terms of just a firm plan A. Just speak like that, man. Speak like robots. I don't want to have these. Do you know who you're racing? I know what that is. I'm not a stupid person. I understand code. Yeah. I understand communication. Clearly, you're asking them what the pace is, but maybe just say, "What's your pace?"
Yeah.
Because who you hiding? Who you hiding from?
No.
Red Bull. Or if you are going to speak in code, speak like in code that cannot be deciphered by the audience of incompetence.
I like, because if we can decipher, let's be honest, like if we can decipher, then surely what are the those that are in the know? You know, what are they talking about?
It's normal to say, "How's your pace?"
Yeah.
You don't need to say who you're racing.
Does it? Yeah, because if you say how's your pace, then it's they could take so much from that question. that we don't even know.
But clearly Will knows that Lando's chilling out, looking after the
Yeah.
tyres.
'Cause
Because if
even
they were
though-
worried about his lap times, they were thinking, what's going on here? Clearly they know he's nursing his tyres.
Yeah. And there's something about the way Lando speaks on the radio, and even Oscar as well, whereby it's so nonchalant that I'm like, are these guys happy, or am I what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? It's like, are you guys actually delighted? Or because even after the victory, it was like, yeah, that was good. And it's
Yeah,
like,
no.
Lando,
Lando's taking a completely different approach here, because I think people have a misconception of who Lando is. Like, I've watched Lando from the beginning, man, since he was a very young man to where he is now. Yeah, one thing about Lando that people don't think Lando has, he has extremely high standards for himself, right?
Yeah.
When I mean extremely high standards, he expects for him to perform at perfection levels, right?
Sure.
So if he knows he's not performed at the level that he wants, right? Why is he celebrating?
Yeah.
Why is he going, oh, when he knows that he could have had more, he should have more wins? Right?
Yeah, very true.
He's on to the next thing. He's not bothered about any of this. Yes, you saved the moment, you won, He can do that all on the podium when he's out of the car, whatever. But he's treating it like I'm at my job and I need to do my job.
Yeah.
So why does he need to be doing the yippee whatever on the radio, whatever? He just said, look, good job, man. He said, simply lovely. The car was there. You know what I mean? He's having fun with it. He's just relaxing. You know what I mean? With Oscar, I think his nonchalance and calm manner is accepted because he's been like that from the jump, right?
Yeah.
But for Lando, he's seen as the happy-go-lucky, whatever. But I think they have a similar trait. The similar trait between Oscar and Lando is that they're very self-critical and they hold high standards for themselves, right? And they're going to be the first one to judge themselves, right? Oscar, we've seen him. Barcelona, we saw him in the race on Sunday. These are very, very self-critical people. He said, I didn't do a good enough job, right? Yeah. Lando says the same thing. Maybe Lando expresses it in a different way that seems more self-deprecating, but they're doing the same thing, right? They're holding themselves to high standards and it's just expressed in a different way. So in that sense, they've got a similar trait. And Lando not being overly excited on the radio about winning this race or whatever, he's just saying, I had the fastest car, won by 22 seconds. I'm doing my job as a racing driver.
Yeah.
Right? And he's on to the next race because he wants the next win and go on and keep going. You know what I mean? He probably got look, he said there was an interview I think he did, and he said, look, my target is to get 4 wins this season, minimum. He's not there. He's not on track. He needs to get back up there and get the 4 wins at least minimum and keep going. And get more.
Shout out to Quick Scott D. Said, look, in Jan, I jotted Lando for 6 wins. Right on track here.
Right now, technically, minimum he should have 4 in the season. If it weren't for, he should have Canada. Yeah, as a win. He should have Silverstone as a win.
Silverstone, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It could have had Spain, maybe could have had Imola. Imola never got the opportunity, ran out of laps. But
let me get through these last few comments before we get into the awards. Drea says, look, I don't think the team made a mistake. That was an early pit stop for Leclerc. Oscar had 9 laps fresher tires, and I was sure he'd get him. I think he should have got him. And I think he should have got him, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought maybe, I couldn't quite tell why the gap started to get bigger between Leclerc and Oscar. I couldn't quite understand whether it was just look, preserve position, take 12 points, let's go home. The focus seemed to be heavy on Lando. As long as Oscar didn't lose any more, possession, I thought that was that. That's why I sort of asked, maybe if Lando was in Oscar's position, would Lando have overtaken Leclerc? Probably. And what's her name? I forgot her name now. But she's like she's on F1 like TV quite a bit. Very good with strategy. She used to work, I think, for Aston Martin. Is it Ruth?
Or is it you're talking about the Aston Martin strategy woman or the
No, not Bernie. One? Not Bernie, the other one. Yeah, so it's the other one.
Anyway, Buscom, I think.
She made a point though that basically if Oscar had Oscar's pace and more so the McLaren pace was so much so that had Oscar, or maybe if Lando was in Oscar's car, we could be looking at a P2 for Oscar because the car was so much better than Ferrari, so much better than Red Bull and Mercedes that, had he just got out of the dirty air and overtaken and was able to have a smooth ride he could have easily finished P2, which kind of shocks me because I thought
I think if he qualified ahead of Max, we had
Yeah.
a front row lockout. I think that's the case.
It
would have been very embarrassing because we would have had 2 cars slower than, or whoever was P2 out of them 2 would have gone into the distance, but they would have determined the race. But yeah, I definitely think a 1-2 was on the card and qualifying kind of succumbed that. And I think if Oscar was P3 coming out of turn whatever it was at the beginning of the race, I think he overtakes Max as well, the same way Lando did. So yeah, wow. I feel like there was a 1-2 on the card, but guess what? We can't really complain. We got a good result.
I mean, look, Dion says here, look, yes, McLaren have made piss poor decisions from the pit wall. Pit wall has cost themselves 4 victories.
Yeah, we just got to keep moving, man. We got to move.
And we've got 3.
I'm one of those guys. Like, listen, at the time we criticized that, right?
We did. We were all over.
One thing on this channel. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna move on.
We are indeed. Dion goes on to say, look, okay, going to show my age here, right? Going to show my age. I'm originally a NASCAR fan because of my father. Went to the very first NASCAR race ever in Talladega, race in 1969. Wow. Fair play. Grew up with the 70s. When I began, was my love. Fair enough. F1 was your love, man. Honestly, imagine the 70s. So you legit saw it from the beginning. You're an OG. You've
seen the bad times, the good times.
You've seen it all. You've seen it all, man.
You're an OG. Welcome,
you're an absolute OG.
Make sure you subscribe, brother.
Please do. The Blues McLaren story was one of the earliest racing documentaries I remember watching. Hence why I fell in love with the team. Been a fan ever since. Please,
well done, man.
Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. All we do is talk about McLaren on here. Okay, that's all we do. In the past, Will asked, "How are the tires? How is the pace?" So I don't know why they would need.
I don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know what they're doing, man. Do you know what it is? It gives. You have to. I don't think they understand the importance of how people perceive the radio.
They don't.
Don't show like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what I knew. I wasn't one that was going, huh? I wasn't one of those people when I heard that message. I know what he's asking, but it's called effective communication. Let's do effective communication, man.
Absolutely. Listen, over 40 of you guys are currently watching right now. Please smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're a McLaren fan or you like McLaren content or you just like us on the channel. Fair play. Do smash a like on this and make sure you subscribe to the channel.
And guys, if you want to come on, you don't need to have your camera on. You can have just mic. If you want to let us know what your feelings are about McLaren this season, you are free to come on air. Just send us a DM on Twitter, on Threads, on Instagram. Let us know, and we'll make those arrangements. You don't need to show your face, nothing. You can speak.
Just speak.
Let people know. This is a free, open forum for McLaren fans.
Absolutely. I feel like at the end of the season as well, we should do after Abu Dhabi, we should have it's a call-in show. Literally, everyone's going to come in, jump in, 10 minutes, whatever, and do your thing. Listen, let's talk. Pit crew, out of 10. Let's get the ratings in. Let's get the ratings for the Dutch Grand Prix in. We'll start with the pit crew. Talk to me. Out of 10. What we saying?
I didn't see any slow stops, guys. Did you? I think we got the second fastest stop.
I don't remember any slow. I think Yuki Tsunoda got the fastest, but I don't remember any slow stops.
Yeah, I think look, we can't do anything wrong. Those guys, they've done
no pit stop cost us in the race, right?
No pit stop cost us in the race. Lando's pit stop was decent. We didn't do what we did in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
we did a good job, guys.
Because remember the pit stop crew have been getting a few pelters from us because
look, we were second.
Yeah,
the second fastest pit stop, Oscar Piastri.
What are we saying? 8.5? 8.5 out of 10?
I think everybody had a lot of slow pit stops, man. I can't lie to you. Red Bull they were 8th fastest pit stop, 9th.
Listen, after that summer break, people had a few too many carbs, maybe. You know what I mean? And they can't carry that tire quickly. They can't get the jack on.
It's a tight pit lane as well.
Who nearly got run over, bruv? What team was it that needed to run over one of their guys? It was holding. You sort of held the tire or even held the jack. And he nearly got clapped. I can't remember what team it was. You guys in the chat will remind me. But yeah, the crew have been talking. Pit crew was a 7. So
3.4 and 2.4.
Yep.
But we got a second fastest, so that's a good one for
The
us.
second fastest pit crew 8. Lando Norris had a 3-second stop. So yeah, was it Gasly? Okay, it was Gasly. So it was that. Of course, it was Alpine.
They said unsafe release, isn't it?
Of course, it was Alpine. Come on, what are we talking about? Sorry, Bonzo Can says here that start sucked, but I didn't feel nervous. I felt very confident once I see Lando gaining on Max, closing in a 1.5 second gap, backing up, and then finish the job cleanly. Thing of beauty.
Depending on what happens in Monza, we might get to the situation where pit stops or strategy won't matter because we'll be that far ahead. We might get to that level where the car
on a Red Bull kind of setting, yeah?
Red Bull last year, do you think their strategy or pit stops mattered?
Or even Mercedes from those years ago?
Yeah, it don't matter.
What are you saying for the strategists then? Where you were the strategists?
I think they were quite calm. They set the car up well. They kept the right tires that they needed. They knew they were good on hards. They kept 2 hards. Like, I feel like it was no. Did they keep 2 hards? No, they kept 2 mediums. But
2 mediums.
I think it was just a smooth set. That's what we needed. We just needed a weekend with nothing.
Give me
no
the
complications, no safety cars, no VSCs, no red flags, nothing. It's just smooth sailing, and this is what can happen when that happens because the team can really operate in those scenarios where everything's fixed and there's not much stuff going around in terms of lots of variables. The next time we do have a lot of variables, that'll be another test for the strategy team. So for now, I'll give them a 9. The strategy team didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, Dre's given it a 9 as well for the strategy team. So too has Z. I'm going to give them a 9 as well. Dion says, okay, but you can forgive them on the Lando stop because they had just over a 7-second lead. By that time. We love all of that.
See the leads. You can have a slow stop.
You can have a stinker.
Yeah, guys, chill out, man. They just come back from annual leave, guys.
Yeah, look, yes, I am an OG fan. Listen, you're the original. You're the original. Definitely on this channel for sure. The Oracle says, yep, strategy 9.
So how much times he said 9 on strategy?
9
in the history of this channel. I know he's not said 9 a lot.
He's not saying not at all. Drivers, talk to me. Drea has put here Lando 10, Oscar 7. What are you saying? Lando got the pole and the race win and the fastest lap.
What did we say? We're very, 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 very stingy when it comes to 10s.
Yeah.
This is a 10. Lando Norris. Pole. Fast. We didn't talk about it. Fastest lap on the last lap. This guy.
Lando, shout out to Z.
Apparently, he was harvesting his battery and just chilling out in the last the last 5 laps or whatever, 6 laps. He was just chilling.
I hear this. I'm sitting there like, wait just a damn minute. What do you mean he was harvesting?
And then he asked him, "Are we on the last lap?" He's like, "Yeah." This guy,
bang,
demon settings. That's a statement in itself. Come on, man. He did a really, really, really fantastic job, Lando. This is the best way to answer your critics in the media. The media was slandering this guy.
Absolutely, they were.
They were saying, is he number 2 driver in his team? Does a number 2 driver do that? Let me ask you that question. People are out there, media, content creators, let me know, does this number 2 driver do that? I guarantee that nobody even thought he had the ability to do that.
No, absolutely not.
Because I've seen people in dominant cars that can't do that.
There you go. There we go.
I've watched Formula 1 for a long time. I've seen drivers. I've seen cars in dominant cars. I've seen guys in dominant cars that have not had the ability to do that. But here we are.
Here we go.
So yeah, Lando 10 out of 10. Oscar, even though if we're using Lando as the benchmark, no, he didn't have a good weekend. And in general, compared to what he actually had underneath him in terms of machinery, considering he had the equal car with Lando and stuff like that, it wasn't good in relation to him. But at the end of the day, he still qualified P3. He finished P4. If we're looking at the grand perspective of things, he was okay. So I'm gonna give him a 7.
You know what? So everybody's quite on the same page. Z, Alex, Drea of all.
I'm not gonna say like he's a 5. Come on, you can't give him a 5. You qualify P3. If he was doing what Checo does, where he's like 10th and that, then obviously he would have those conversations. But he still scored good points for the team.
Adams here, 10 for Lando, 7.5 for Oscar. Guys, I must admit, and the Oracle here says, no, Lando 11, forget 10. 11. Huh? Last lap, Lando returns.
We've got to save that for another one, man.
We've got to save it for something else, you know what I mean? Z says last lap, Lando. Steph says the fastest lap was just chef's kiss.
I was so shocked. I had like hands on head. I said, what?
Yeah.
On the last lap, you're taking a piss.
Can I be honest with you guys? Before you guys have gassed me with the 10s, Lando Norris was getting a 9.5 for me.
Because of the start.
Purely because of the start.
No, but what if it's not his fault?
I wasn't saying it was his fault. I just don't think it was a perfect race. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like we could have had led every lap. We could have had a Grand Sheem or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
We only left with a hat trick, which
you know
it's a decent little.
That's only a hat trick. Yeah, only a hat trick instead of like a Grand Slam or something like That's what it is for me. It wasn't perfect, and I know I'm being an annoying tool. If you lot are thinking that on the chat, I am, but purely because when he does then do this. Yeah. When it's perfect. What do I have room for? You know what I'm saying? I'm giving him 10s. Listen, I'm not saying the start was his fault. I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that. The race just wasn't perfect. You know, he did catch up with Max and he did obliterate Max and he finished 23 seconds, or 22.9, whatever it was, seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. Today's Max Verstappen.
Peter, what did he have to do to get a 10? Did he have to win by 30 seconds? 40 seconds? Did he have to lap the whole field?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear all of you guys. Oh God, do I give him a 10? Peter, you're harsh.
Give him a 10.
Peter. Only a hat trick, you man are gassed. You know what I'm saying?
Hat trick is a 10. Come on, man. That's crazy.
It's a harsh
pole, fastest lap. And the win is a hat trick. If you get a hat trick, if a McLaren driver that gets a hat trick, which is quite rare, you're getting a 10.
Listen, Dion says, look, agreed. I'm listening to the OG over here.
Okay, OGs are
the OG is overruled. The thing is, like, yeah, he didn't put a foot wrong. Let's have it right. Lando didn't put a foot wrong. He didn't. He did everything he could. But it's the best car on the grid. You know them way there. And it's not even a case of had he finished P2 to Max, I would be heavily criticizing him. I wouldn't necessarily be that. But I just think, there is still room, Peter, I still have that photo of us after Bahrain 2023. It's a 10. For goodness.
I was in Bahrain 2023 pretending that Lando was racing with front runners. That's where we were at. I was there in person pretending.
Is it
10?
Perfect?
Say 10. Say it.
Am I gonna succumb?
Okay, if a striker got a hat trick but missed the penalty, are you giving him a 10?
He gets a 9.5. I can't.
Nah, you're sick.
If it's not left foot, right foot, and header, it's a 9.5.
Okay, so no more. Okay, cool.
No, do you know what? I don't know, guys. I'm just saying, innit? There will be a day, McLaren fans. There will be a day when we will watch Lando start.
I 100%. I 100% believe that's not going to be Lando's best career win.
Absolutely not.
He'll have better wins than that.
He will. Wait. He will.
But for now, it's a 10. You can downgrade it in the future, bro.
I'm a 9.5 today. Today he's 9.5 again. Quick Scott he says, with both cars having starts, can't blame Lando for the start. Of course, yeah, no doubt. It's not a blame on Lando for sure. First hat trick of his career. We need to allow the 10s, okay? We need to bring them in.
What's your Oscar rating?
For me, Oscar. Do you know what? Yeah, even though the car is superb, yeah. He still has to apply, because what you said about, you've seen certain drivers in dominant cars and they're not doing niche. We're finding we're searching for Sergio Perez. We've been looking for him all season, whilst he's been getting 2-year deals.
He wasn't doing it last season.
He's clearly got, and he wasn't doing it last season either. I saw Bottas at the end of that Mercedes career, and I said, "What is happened to this man? Finished." Yeah, we've seen your Barrichellos, your Eddie Irvines in the Ferraris back in the day. Even to an extent, let's have it right. David Coulthard, when it was him and Hakkinen, I don't remember Kovalainen. I don't remember him. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember Hecky, So there are times where the number 2, even though they're in a good car, doesn't necessarily shine. And for that reason, like even, like when Massa was in that Ferrari when he was fighting, bruv, who was his number 2, bruv? Do I even remember? Like I'm struggling.
He was drunk Raikkonen. What are you on about? He won a title. It was good, man. He was chilling.
Drunk Raikkonen was one year. He have somebody else the other year because he retired. Who was he? Who was there?
Fisichella? Was it Fisichella?
Was it Fisichella?
Who was it? 2009 Ferrari. Who was the
Yeah,
teammate?
is it Giancarlo? Is it Giancarlo? Yeah.
I swear they switched up some drivers, man. I swear. Hold on.
Yeah. But overall,
but anyways,
Oscar.
I know Oscar. I wouldn't
I'll give Oscar
accept
7.5. I'll go 7.5.
I wouldn't accept that performance again.
No, nor would I. But I'll give it a 7.5.
Hopefully he irons that out and we won't see that again.
He's still left with integrity. Do you know what I mean? Like, he still got P3 in quali, and then he still got P4, 12 points, took it home. Had he got a podium, I would have given him an 8. You know?
Yeah.
P3, I would have given him an 8. You know, but yeah, because he missed out on that. Now it can be. It's just the fact that I know that if Lando was in Oscar's car on the weekend, I just think, yeah, he would have got a better result.
Personally, I don't believe that we're going to win the World Drivers' title. But if we're going to have a shot at it, Oscar has to finish in front of Max
at the constructors'
all times. No, if we the drivers. Title, I think we got that wrong. If we have a shot at drivers, the only way you can do that is if Oscar finishes in front of Max.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah, I hear you totally. Drea, I don't think he's happy with me. Humans are never perfect. It's a 10, no question. If you give Oscar better than a 7.5 and Lando not a 10, I have to be angry at you. Listen, I 7.5 for Oscar, 7.5. Okay, 7.5.
I gave him a 7, but yeah. Oscar will bounce back, man. Oscar was good in Monza last year.
He was. Dion is lethal. Oscar should absolutely have finished second due to the fact just how much faster the McLaren was on the track. To finish fourth, no excuse.
Yeah, 7.5. If I have to be fair, if Lando finished fourth, I'll be onto it.
Yeah, that's fair.
We would be cooking him on it.
That's fair. What do we think very quickly on Italy? Monza, the test. We've stunk in the last couple of years, haven't we? We've not been great since the win.
I've got faith in the upgrades, man. I'm on copium right now. I've got faith in these upgrades, man. Whatever
Can I give you a quote?
We're getting 1-2 again. We're running 21 back, man.
I'm going to give you 2 quotes. First of all, from Checo, he said, the pace of McLaren is scary. That's number 1. Number 2, from Oscar, he says, we don't fear any circuits. Did you hear that, people? Yeah? Oscar Piastri says we do not fear.
Zach said he's very excited for the things that are coming in Monza. What does that mean?
Steph, don't be scared.
Zach, I want to see you on that podium, brother.
Zach, you better jump on that. Stella and Zach, I need you both on there.
2 man up.
If we dunk, 1-2 at Ferrari's home ground.
Do you know what's so funny? Yeah, I still get right. We're gonna win this Monza because we should have won in 2020. We're getting it back in blood. We could have got a 1-2 in Monza in 2020 if Leclerc didn't crash.
Z, I like your style.
And then Gasly bloody won. We're getting it back in blood.
Allow it, yeah. Don't. Was that Science P2? Don't.
We should have won that race if Leclerc didn't crash. I'm still mad about it. But anyways, like, we're getting it back in blood. I think, personally, I believe in upgrades. I think we can sort that out. Yeah. And I think we will do a job in Monza, guys.
This is my prediction. I'm with Z.
You know, one of the happiest moments, McLaren moments we had in the last couple of years, Monza 21. I was so happy that day.
Listen,
because you know what? When we win in Italy, it means more.
It means
more. It means more than winning in Zandvoort. It means more than winning elsewhere. Miami. It means more winning in Monza.
Even more than Silverstone. It's not even a home race for us. Like, we don't even care.
You got to win. Do you know how much I wanted that win in Imola? You got to win in Opland.
Yes.
Win in Italy.
We need another 1-2 finish. And I'm with Z. Do you know why? Because like you said, them upgrade. When McLaren upgrade people, news just in. When McLaren friggin' upgrade, we don't play games. We don't muck about. We know exactly what we're looking for when it comes to this car. We're not your Alpines or your Red Bulls or your RB. Didn't RB go back to their old car the other day?
Yeah,
and we
got a 24 plate.
74 plate.
What 74?
We're in August now.
Is it brand new?
It's brand new.
2024 version.
What?
This is why the correlation is correlated.
Dre, I need your faith to rise. Yeah? Do not be scared. Question isn't if we're
time
good,
for prediction, Dre.
but how good are the others? Yeah, guys in the chat, prediction for the Monza Italian Grand Prix.
Do you know who I'm scared of? I'm scared of Ferrari. I'm not scared of Red Bull. I'm scared of Ferrari.
Well, do you think they're going to tune up the base?
I think they. The reason they were good this weekend, I think they turned up their engine. They always do this.
They're ready. Yeah.
Race before Monza, they go, they max it. I'm scared of them.
God, Stefan says, the last couple of comments. Stefan says, I really hope we do well at Monza because I'm actually going to the race on Sunday. Stefan, get yourself on the. Make sure, listen, just make sure.
Send us a picture on Twitter or whatever. We want to see it.
Number one, that's your first job. Second job, you better get in on that track as soon as the race is finished because you're going to be watching the McLarens pouring champagne all over you. Okay, so you better make sure you're there, live and direct. Get in there. Yeah, get in there because isn't the podium like above the track? Doesn't it come out a little bit? It sticks out a little bit.
Use that podium serious, man.
Woo! That podium is legit. Make sure you get yourself
Stella, I want you on stage speaking Italian.
Oh God, in the veins, bro.
Forza McLaren.
Oh my God. If he gave us the sempre, yeah, if he gave us the Italian, oh mate.
You're Ranch. You're gonna watch that. Ferrari fan. I know you're watching Ranch now.
Yeah, man. Ranch is there, boy. There.
I know you're a Ferrari fan. You're gonna witness that, bro.
Dion says, I actually have a good feeling about this race. If you look at our history, total history, we have a better than average finish here. We have better data collection at this moment, which is a key.
I generally believe that we used to be cooking Monza, but now like.
It's been sketchy.
2020, under the new regs, 2022, 23, we ain't been good. But yeah. I think this is the comeback, man.
Yeah,
this is the comeback. I think they've had this circled in their calendar, man, to do something.
Dion goes on to say, "Yes, I am brutal. I'm an OG, the Generation X. Just don't give an F." I totally hear you, man. I totally hear you. Sahil says, Lando P1, Leclerc P2, Oscar P3. We can't have Leclerc in the podium. We can't have Ferrari on the podium. Throw Hamilton in there. Throw Russell.
Form, man. You have to admit that. He's on form.
What's form? What is form? Really?
He's cooking.
Ferrari, what is form? In Ferrari language.
Oh, Ferrari. Okay, yeah, cool.
Talk to me.
I said Leclerc, not Ferrari. I said Leclerc. He's driving well.
Z says we're doing it for Stella in his yard, yeah?
Okay.
In the fields, man. I don't think I understand. Bro, let me tell you something right now, Mahad.
They might play the Italian anthem for him still. Italian and English anthem mixed.
I'm injecting
pre-ramble for Hamilton next year.
I'm injecting whatever is necessary in the coming weeks. Okay, if that happens in the coming days. Scott D says Ferrari will turn up the power unit to 110.
They do it every year. I swear to you, in Monza, they do a madness. They put it on like the most riskiest setting.
Yeah.
Imaginable.
The Oracle says Stella at Monza speaking Italian on the podium after McLaren won 2. Oh, I tell you what, that is a spliff that I will take, man. I don't smoke, but that is one I will pack in, man. Let's be clear. I will pack that in. Don't worry. We're summoning the power of the Black Panther for Monza and Ferrari.
All right,
you lot know.
He knows, man. He knows what Ferrari do when they go to Monza.
He does.
That's every year illegal car. Remember last year they did something illegal in quali, and they didn't even get a penalty. I was like, you lot are taking the piss. They slowed down before the thing. You know the minimum speed.
Yeah,
no penalty. Nothing. Not even an investigation.
Bro. It's that
2019. No, they did it. They got investigated, and they said no. When do you get investigated for that and don't get a penalty?
It's a farce. It's an absolute farce. I mean, even that 2019 Ferrari, I said, you lot are absolute chiefs. And then once they got done, what did we see them do afterwards?
2019 Ferrari in Monza, and then when Leclerc tried to kill Hamilton, and they said no penalty. Yeah, these guys are sick.
They did it for Jules.
Ferrari gets 0 penalties in Monza.
I know. Mercedes will suck, says Drea, and it will be hot. And there's a new track service. They'll cook their tires. Let's hope that, man. Leclerc could beat us at Monza. None of that talks quick. None of that talk, Scott D.
I'm only scared of Ferrari. I'm not scared of Red Bull.
Sahil says I have a feeling both Red Bulls DNF. Love that, Sahil. Love that, guys.
We need a DNF. Good lord.
We do we? Don't we just? Guys, you lot have been tremendous. You lot have been amazing. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you smash a like on the video, and if you're a McLaren fan, please, and if you know other McLaren fans, tell them what's happening over here. We are here to discuss all things McLaren. Thank you for all the newcomers that have joined us today. Thank you for the regular listeners as well. You lot are absolute legends. We freaking love each and every single one of you. The FIA know what's up at Monza, says Ranch and Dingus. Yes, indeed. You know the drill already. But listen, McLaren 1-2 on your head top. Yeah? When it comes to Monza.
McLaren won P1, Lando P1, 22 seconds in Zandvoort. We witnessed history.
We did.
We're going to witness it again. Lando's gonna.
Absolutely. Stefan says, I'm sitting at the Parabolica, straight grandstand. If we win, I'll make sure I'll be there for the podium celebrations in my McLaren gear, tasting that champagne. You better, Stefan, you better. Otherwise, we have to revoke you from the podcast. Okay, you better be there for damn sure. Andrea says, "Love you guys. Have a great night." Absolutely, we'll be back. Shout out to you as well, Dion. You're an absolute legend. Thank you to everybody that's joined us this week. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, straight after the Monza, the Italian Grand Prix. Until then, lights out, people. Peace.
Peace.